Hello, myself Sunil Nair, Sunil Nair, and here basically we are talking about the topic in this. Basically, till now, basically we have discussed that one person basically in India basically want to richest become the richest person of the world. Basically. So for that, basically, few people say that this richest person has done the plan. Like this, basically, one person basically in Mumbai basically he got HIV/AIDS. That also basically HIV/AIDS get AIDS marriage, and then basically he got Nasbandi. Then basically the digital world started. Then basically the each and every body parts are connected with the cities. That was basically the Surat city. Like this, basically the body parts are connected with city. Then basically what is Hollywood and what is the sports, that also basically we discussed. Example was basically in Bollywood we have show basically the Sholay movie, and then basically the Sholay movie converted into the 1 lakh human souls, and that basically 1 lakh human souls is converted into 30 lakh human bodies. Then then we basically saw that how basically the sports are basically, that basically we already saw for advertising screen is an advertising screen, basically the players basically see, and then basically they according to play. For example, this advertising comes, then basically 4 run basically has to taken. For example, this advertising has taken, this basically advertising has came in the screen, then basically that is 6 run. So that advertising lots of people says that advertising is controlled by USA, and few people says that it's controlled by Canada, and few people says that it's controlled by Saudi Arab. Few people says that it is controlled by Dubai. Few people says that it is controlled by Mumbai. Few people says that it is controlled by Bangalore. Few people says that it is controlled by Pakistan. Few people says that it is controlled by Kenya. Few people says that it is controlled by South Africa. So basically, that basically nobody knows that basically from where the advertising screen is getting controlled. For that people, for that basically the people says that basically we basically don't know from where the things are basically getting controlled. Like this, basically the he told that basically have one database, that basically have one system. So for that basically lots of things basically, that basically we are going to discuss actually what actually cricket is. And lots of people basically say that we basically die for the cricket basically. So that basically also we are going to say after this video, basically they will say that basically yeah, you are correct. Like this, basically the negative energy and positive energy, there are 100 crores planets basically in universe. Earth planet is one of the universe, and that is generating the energy, and that is the next roadmap of the Earth planet. For that basically the 5 crore basically Earth planet basically example basically we have already taken. But assume that when the while creating the Earth planet, while creating this 5 crore energy, and while creating the products basically, that is basically the bank basically creates. That time basically assume that this type of incidents happened. That is basically, for example, in Mumbai basically in 2000 C basically one marriage happened, that basically was HIV/AIDS girl, and the like this basically the boy also got HIV/AIDS, and then basically he basically his Nasbandi was also dead. Like this basically they thought that basically we will finish his generation only basically. We basically planned only basically one HIV/AIDS. Then basically we thought that basically in HIV/AIDS basically the child also will happen. So for that basically they finished that his generation only. Like this, like Nasbandi basically. Like from Nasbandi basically they finish his generation. Then basically they basically thought that basically if we will stay in basically in the Earth planet, it might possible that he might create lots of problems. So basically they basically planned with the help of few people basically, and they basically placed that particular person in Dubai. And Dubai basically literally he killed that particular person. They basically throw that particular person from ship. The ship was basically used. Which ship basically, that basically don't know, but that satellite group basically know which ship was that, because that time basically the satellite group was connected. That's why basically the thing has reached up to this level. Otherwise, they might have ship was the plan only basically. Like this, basically they throw that particular person in the sea. So like this basically things are basically also there. So this basically here basically I told here, like this basically reason is the energy, and the energy basically generate negative and positive energy. In the negative and positive energy basically the Earth planet is generating the energy. That is this basically one is the 5 crore energy basically that is basically generated. sorry, that is basically the 5 crore human souls basically which has been created from that 5 crore body basically. They basically taken from where basically that basically is some subject basically. They basically got from 5 crore body basically. And that 5 crore basically created a few, they basically converted this 5 crore body into human clone. And they basically started their human generation basically. Like this basically the 5 crore people started their generation. And like this basically the like within this period basically one incident happened basically. That was this incident, that HIV AIDS and Nasbandi. So what are the things basically going to happen? So is this plan basically which has done 5 crore wala, that is going to affect, or basically it's not going to affect? That basically is a very dangerous question basically. If basically that energy basically which is basically going to connect to that area basically, that is basically the 5 crore people energy. And if this basically energy is going to attract that 5 crore energy or basically the earth planet, then basically what is the things basically going to happen? Then basically, then he told that basically mostly basically one energy basically can't attract the one earth planet basically, and it can't change the entire direction basically. That is not possible basically. So he told that basically nothing is going to happen. But basically the energy has already generated, and like this basically is connected to 100 crore 100 crore energy basically, 100 crore planets basically. Like this, let's see basically what the things is going to happen. What are the things going to happen? Let's see basically, because the energy has already generated. Now basically the thing is basically, then basically negative positive energy generated. Then basically we saw about the cricket also. Then we saw basically the recruitment of the World Bank person also. And then basically we saw that requirement of the World Bank person also. Basically we saw in requirement basically what lots of things basically we saw. And then basically the news agency basically up to what level the information they have, that also basically mostly we saw. But then also we will discuss little bit. For example, one person told that basically one of the news agency told that this thing is going to happen basically, he is going to die. For example, he told that basically this person, one of the news agency told that इसकी तो नसबंदी और HIV एड्स तो होगा ही. According to that basically they taken the interview also basically from set of groups basically, so that basically it can be done the advertising also, because the news channel has told na, that इसकी तो नसबंदी and HIV एड्स होगा ही. That means his नसबंदी and HIV एड्स 100% going to happen in Mumbai. So they basically done the advertising, and according to that basically they told that basically yes, basically his Nasbandis and HIV it's 100% going to happen. According to that basically lots of few people basically has taken his interview. Like this basically they confirmed it, basically the HIV it's and basically 100% going to happen. Like this basically really basically he got the HIV AIDS. Now basically this was planned, or basically Nasbandi and HIV AIDS basically that basically need to confirm, because news channel says that basically we have confirmed, we have basically told that basically HIV AIDS Nasbandi is going to 100% happen. So according to that basically his group basically also was connected with that particular person. Assume that that is myself basically. My Nasbandi has happened, my HIV AIDS have, because I can take my example only. So assume that in Mumbai basically in 2006 basically my Nasbandi and HIV AIDS has happened. Assume that my HIV AIDS and Nasbandi has happened. According to that, basically, few people told that basically we have taken your interview also basically. For according to that, basically, lots of things basically also happened just now basically. According to that, basically, the laptop was tracked. According to the mobile was tracked of that particular person. Like this, they told that basically 100% HIV is going to happen. That news channel also basically connected to him, because we have told that basically that HIV AIDS and then husband is 100% going to happen. So according to that news channel also basically they connected. Then they thought that basically HIV AIDS तो हो नहीं रहा है, नसबंदी भी हो नहीं रहा है. Then basically what should we do? Then they told that basically we will forcefully do the HIV AIDS and Nasbandi. Then they started the process. Then basically, literally basically his Nasbandi and HIV AIDS happened. And that energy basically generated in the 100 crore planets. That interview basically, girl or boy basically who has taken the interview, that also basically generated. Then basically the news channel basically who told that basically HIV AIDS and the 100% is going to happen, that also basically generated in the in the universe, and 100 crore planet basically joined them basically. Like this basically the entire earth planet also came into it due to one city, that was Mumbai basically. So this is but just an example basically I'm taking. In real basically this has happened basically, that you have to take the verification basically. You have to take each and every clips basically, what are the things basically happened in Mumbai, each and everything basically you take the clips basically. Then you will know basically. Lots of people say that we have saw that clip, yeah. We basically are leaving for the Mars planet basically. And lots of people say that we basically left Mars planet also. But then basically the one person told that basically that is 100 crore planet basically. If you will leave the Mars also, then also the condition 100% is going to happen. Like this basically the negative and positive energy of the 100 crore. Then basically it was that requirement basically of the World Bank. Then basically the World Bank person basically told that basically I want the requirement to be given, that I want this whole software basically. For that basically he told that basically yes basically lots of requirement basically was given. Then basically the this basically you can say that rest of point basically might be requirement also. You can add that point into the requirement also. Then basically the news channel basically told that this next example basically I have already told. That is the one news channel agency told that basically इसकी नसबंदी और HIV AIDS हो गई. Then according to that basically the set of girl boys basically they started interviewing also basically. That 100% the HIV AIDS and nusbandi is going to happen. That news channel only. That news channel group only basically started advertising it. इसकी तो नसबंदी और HIV AIDS हो गई in Mumbai. So like this basically they started interviewing basically. They told that basically yes 100% इसकी नसबंदी और HIV AIDS होगा इसको. Then basically they started really basically they started according to the girls and boys basically started taking interview basically. The name was basically that according to that only basically. Then he told that basically 100% yeah नसबंदी और HIV AIDS हुआ उसका. In Hindi basically one person told. In English basically we translate then basically this converts to like this. Basically it's AIDS and they basically got HIV AIDS and नसबंदी. Yeah. The news channel has basically literally told correct. The news channel basically literally told correct basically. So that is basically also a different thing basically. Now the news channel basically also told that it's like that. Now basically we connect to the colleges basically. The colleges basically who says that basically we are also there. We have also done lots of things basically. So that basically we are going to discuss now. What are those colleges and the groups? 1 person told that basically, do you know basically Sunil what this college do? Then he told that basically what college do? College basically give the studies and lots of things. That's all basically. What they might be doing here? Then 1 person told that do you know basically how the political people basically are controlled? Then basically he told that political people how basically they might be getting controlled. Then basically he told that few professor basically controls each and every political people. Like chief minister is controlled by one professor. Chief minister is controlled by news channel also. Then he told that basically chief minister and the news channel are basically controlled by the professor. That means you want to say the combination? Yes, exactly. Then he told that basically news channel, chief minister, MLA, this all basically controlled by the professors basically. Then he told that how basically you are telling that then he told that basically the do you know basically world economic political basically one forum is there. Then he told that basically no, basically that basically we don't know. Basically. How basically each and every political countries are political things are basically connected with each other basically by each country basically. For example, in Canada basically something happens that directly affects to India. How basically in US basically something happens it directly affect to India. How basically in Gaza basically something happens it directly affects to India. Lots of Muslim basically people died. Lots of Christian also basically died. That basically what is the effect basically going to happen in India. Then he told that basically Gaza effect basically happened in USA basically. In Canada also basically that effect happened. But India basically why it has not happened. Then he told that basically the professor group basically who are controlling the political people and news channel basically. Because they have yet not basically done the Action basically, action plan basically. Then they told that USA. Then they told that, they basically told that political people basically of the USA, they have already taken the action. Europe also basically taken the action. Then Canada also basically told that basically, yeah, we have also taken the action basically. That means the professor basically who are controlling the Canada country basically, they told that basically we have taken the action basically. We have controlled the Canada groups and then basically Canada politician people, and then basically according to that basically they have given the statement, lots of things basically has done. Then according to the thing basically has happened basically. Then he told that basically, then basically he told that in India, no, in India basically we have not yet taken the action. That means basically he told that basically the college group basically, that are basically the professors and the set of groups basically. He told that basically for college the professor basically are also basically controlled. Then he told that basically college and professor basically also might be controlled by some group basically, because it's mostly possible basically. Mostly basically it is possible that college professor basically also might be getting controlled. Then he told that basically who might be controlling that, yeah, who basically might be controlling that basically. So that basically we are going to discuss who actually basically are going to who is controlling that group basically, which groups are basically who is controlling that group basically. So in this world basically there are many colleges. Harvard is there, Oxford is there, MS University is there, then Delhi college is there, then Patna college is there, IIT college is there, IIM college is there basically. Like this basically in this world, IIM Ahmedabad is there, IIM Madras is there, IIM Chennai is there, IIM Patna is there, IIM Bihar is there. Like this basically many colleges are basically there. They are basically controlling the, so according to the level of the college basically, they controls the country, they controls the country. Then basically one question basically that World Bank person basically asked, that basically who is controlling the India college basically. Then he told, sorry, India politician people basically. Then he told that basically there might be some college basically, and mostly basically it might not be India college basically, because India political basically people are not controlled by Indian college. That is 100% controlled by other than Indian college. He told that basically there might be some reason, right? It might possible that political people might reach to that college, and then basically they might do some damage to that college person, to that college. So basically this basically never gets tracked, that which college is basically controlling the political people. That means you want to say that each and every college basically are controlled by each and every countries, or basically is it vice versa? Basically the college, the countries are basically controlled by the colleges. Then he told that it might possible basically. The country basically, the colleges basically might be controlling the countries basically. Then basically who is controlling the college basically? Then he told that basically that also political people basically who control, because each and every city basically have college, right? And the city are basically controlled by the political people only basically. That also basically he told that yes, yeah, that is also basically correct. Then basically who is controlling whom basically? That basically is the question basically. Then basically who is controlling to whom basically? So currently, basically, we will see that basically the college people say that basically the each and everything basically we are controlling, and we are controlling the political people. We are controlling the each and every economic basically. For example, uh, software company basically has told that basically we are doing the layoff, that is controlled by the professors. We are, then one of the country basically told that basically we are hiring the project each and every software professionals basically, that is controlled by the college people basically. Like this basically he told that basically we the particular price, the particular item price basically has raised, that is controlled by the certain groups. Then basically he told that who basically controlling whom here basically. Then one of the person told that basically, for example, the onion price basically has increased, right? Then he told that yes, exactly basically. Then basically he told that how basically that get increased. Then he told that basically the onion basically are created from the set of energies that basically CRM example I have already taken. So that's assume that there are basically 15 16 CRM basically softwares who basically creates the onion basically, and they are basically controlling the onion market. So assume that 15 16 software basically they have around 5 to 6 lakh data basically of the onion. So they basically started doing the less production. Due to that, due to some reason basically, that might be the reason that they are basically controlled by the certain groups basically. They are basically controlled by the certain groups. So he told that basically, exactly, you are correct, yeah. Then he told that basically, which group might be controlling that? Then he told that basically is political group only, man. Because each and every cities basically are controlled by the political people. Then he told that basically, but political people don't give the money. Na? That basically, political people are giving money. Political people are just hiring the companies, and then basically the companies are placed here, and then basically the company basically gives money. Then he told that basically companies basically, do you know basically, they assume that there are 1 lakh companies basically in this world, in India basically. Assume that there is 1 lakh companies in the Vadodara city. So who is controlling that company basically? Who is basically controlling that company basically? Then he told that basically it might possible that that company basically might be controlled by set of government employees basically. Then he told that basically 100% that might possible basically, because to keep the control, and basically then he told that basically, do you know basically the company basically owners basically, whoever are basically, we basically told that basically that this is the company owner name, and he is basically this, that, this James Bomb, James John, like this basically, these are all the company owner name. But in real basically, they few people say that in India basically only Indian basically owner can do the investment. Then he told that basically only Indian owner, that means outside people, they also basically can do the investment, but mostly only Indian group basically do the investment in India basically. Then he told that basically that, but in India basically there are many groups basically. It's not like that the only one groups are basically there. So this is one side. This is basically the one side. Then basically few people says that basically the political people are totally different basically. Then he told that that is also one side. Like this basically the groups of the company basically comes into the market. Like this basically they, each and every company basically are controlled by the government employees basically. Each and every basically companies are basically mostly controlled by the government's employees. Few company basically are controlled by the outsiders basically, because you can't control the entire companies. Because it might possible that one day basically the Indian political people basically say that basically we basically are the king of the India. It might possible that they might one day basically might say that we are the basically king of India. For that, according to that basically the company basically few owner basically are from outsider also basically, because it might possible that it might not, it is 100% that this type of thing might have happened. That's why basically the percentage of employee basically, percentage of companies are controlled by the government, and percentage of companies are basically controlled by the outsiders, and percentage of companies are basically controlled by the sports people. Percentage of companies are basically controlled by some bad people also basically. So each and every people basically controls a company basically, because it might possible that one day he will say that basically that we are the king of company basically. One day it might possible that political people will say, then basically say that we are basically the king of the company. So that type of thing basically might possible. So basically the companies basically are handled by the percentage. So like this basically each and everything basically are controlled by the professor group basically. So that professor are basically in the college basically, they only basically controls the most of basically the government are basically controlled by the political the colleges basically. But you can't track that basically, that which college person basically is controlling which country basically. That is not possible, na? That is not possible. Sometimes basically the college people basically also basically might not get the full information basically, might not get the full information, because the admin department basically of the group basically, they basically controls the stuff basically. So basically mostly lots of things basically are controlled by the lots of people basically. So you can say it's a one group basically, but groups are basically totally different basically. Totally different groups are there basically. So entire basically India is not controlled by the sports group. Entire India is not controlled by the political people. Entire India is not controlled by the outsider group basically. Entire India is not controlled by the bad people. Entire India is not controlled by the police group. Entire India is not controlled by the law group. Entire India is not getting controlled by the certain union group basically. Reason, that is basically the we have already discussed. That is the, he basically one day he will say that basically we are ruling the India basically. It might possible basically. So that's why basically the political people says that basically we also not controlling the India basically. Set of groups are there basically. So they are basically the each and every companies basically are divided into this. Few people says that if entire India basically become one, then basically something is going to happen in India. That is 100% sure basically. If this type of thing will happen basically one day, then basically in short basically we will say that something is going to happen in India. Then basically it might be basically, he told that basically what might be something. Then he told that basically Gaza is the example basically. Gaza basically, but there basically the Gaza was the some personal enemy basically. That is totally different thing basically. That is basically totally different thing basically. So like this basically might be possible basically. So he told that basically entire India basically never becomes one basically. But a few people say that entire India basically also becomes one basically. That basically depends on the situation basically. But mostly basically India basically never becomes one. If this basically situation some group has been created, then basically they slowly basically that group basically gets out from the India basically. If that this type of thing basically has been created, then basically slowly they basically gets out, because it has created, they have created the this type of scene, that also basically they might have taken time, right? It might possible that it might have taken some time basically to create this type of scene. So to get out from that scene also basically it is going to take some time basically. So entire India basically by chance if gets one basically, then slowly basically gets out also from the that particular structure basically. So like this basically each and every group basically are controlled by the certain groups basically. So like this basically the university group basically, that is the college group basically, they basically say that basically mostly political people basically are controlled by us. Mostly basically here also basically it's not that that entire country basically entire for example India basically, India is fully controlled by college professor. That is not also 100% correct. Few groups are there. Few groups says that basically few businessmen also basically controls the few political people basically. Because businessmen also basically are the no, they basically also basically can run the country basically, run the states, run the basically city basically, because they are businessmen, na, basically. They are basically the businessmen, and they basically have the thing basically. So like this basically they controls the political people also. Like this basically the college people, like the businessmen basically, each and everything people basically controls the country basically. So basically fully basically the country is now basically controlled by the certain groups. So how, what is that basically that we are going to discuss in the next video basically.